She stood behind the counter, wiping down the polished wood of the upscale Manhattan restaurant, her hands steady despite the long shift. Tasha Williams, a 28-year-old single mother, had worked at La Belle Époque for 3 years, serving New York's elite with a smile that hid her exhaustion. The place was a magnet for Wall Street tycoons, celebrities, and the occasional billionaire with an ego bigger than their bank account. Tonight, one of those egos walked in. Richard Hargrove, the 56-year-old CEO of Hargrove Enterprises, a man whose name was synonymous with wealth and ruthlessness. He was flanked by his usual entourage, suited investors, a personal assistant, and a bodyguard who looked like he could bench press a car. Tasha didn't flinch. She'd seen his type before. But what happened next would turn her life upside down and send shockwaves through the corporate world. Tasha's shift was winding down when Hargrove's group took over the VIP section. The restaurant buzzed with their laughter, loud and careless, as they ordered $1,000 bottles of wine like they were tap water. Hargrove's voice cut through the noise, sharp and commanding, as he waved Tasha over. "Hey, you," he said, his tone dripping with entitlement. "You look like you could use some fun. Dance for us." The room went quiet. Tasha froze, her heart pounding. The other servers exchanged glances, but no one spoke. Hargrove leaned back in his chair, smirking, as if her humiliation was just another Tuesday night. What would she do? Walk away and risk her job? Or stand her ground against a man who could ruin her with a phone call? One thing was certain. Tasha's next move would change everything. Tasha grew up in Harlem, where she learned early that life wasn't fair. Her mother worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on, and Tasha followed in her footsteps, juggling night shifts at La Belle Époque with community college classes. She dreamed of owning her own catering business, but for now, she was just another face in the service industry, invisible until someone like Hargrove decided to make her the center of attention. Hargrove, on the other hand, was untouchable. His company dominated the tech and real estate markets, and his reputation for crushing competitors was legendary. Rumors swirled about his temper, his shady deals, and his habit of treating employees like pawns. That night, he was in a mood, fueled by whiskey and the fawning of his investors. When Tasha didn't immediately comply with his demand to dance, his smirk faded. "What? You too good for us?" he sneered, loud enough for the whole restaurant to hear. The tension was suffocating. Tasha's coworker, Jamal, whispered for her to just walk away, but something in her snapped. She wasn't just a waitress tonight. She was a woman who'd had enough. Tasha's voice was steady as she replied, "I'm here to serve food, not entertain you." The words hung in the air like a challenge. Hargrove's face reddened, unused to defiance. He stood, towering over her, and barked, "You'll do what I say, or you're done here." The investors chuckled nervously, but the other diners were watching now, phones subtly raised. Tasha's heart raced, but she held her ground. She knew the stakes. Losing this job meant losing her apartment, her son's daycare, her dreams. But she also knew something Hargrove didn't. She wasn't alone. Her phone, tucked in her apron, was recording. She'd started it the moment he called her over, a habit she'd picked up after years of dealing with entitled customers. As Hargrove's tirade escalated, calling her ungrateful and replaceable, Tasha quietly pressed send, uploading the clip to a group chat with her cousin, a local activist with a massive online following. Within minutes, the video was on X, spreading like wildfire. By the time Hargrove's bodyguard escorted her out, the internet was ablaze with fat Tasha Vise Hargrove. The clip showed his cruelty in high definition, and the public's outrage was swift. But Hargrove wasn't done. He doubled down, posting a smug statement on his company's website, claiming Tasha was insubordinate and unprofessional. That was his mistake. The backlash grew, with boycotts and protests outside his offices. Investors started pulling out, spooked by the PR nightmare. Tasha, meanwhile, was offered free legal help by a civil rights lawyer who saw the video. The conflict wasn't just personal anymore, it was a movement. As the story spread, Tasha became a symbol of resistance. Her cousin's X post had reached millions, and news outlets picked up the story. Protesters gathered outside Hargrove Enterprises headquarters, chanting Tasha's name. But Tasha wasn't celebrating. She was unemployed, fielding threats from Hargrove's loyalists and struggling to shield her son from the chaos. The lawyer, a sharp woman named Angela Carter, uncovered dirt on Hargrove, years of workplace discrimination, hushed-up lawsuits, and a pattern of targeting vulnerable employees. Angela built a case, not just for Tasha but for dozens of others who came forward with similar stories. Meanwhile, Hargrove's empire began to crack. His stock plummeted as sponsors dropped him, and a board member leaked emails showing he tried to bribe Tasha into silence. The public ate it up, with ex-users digging deeper, exposing more of Hargrove's shady deals. Tasha, though overwhelmed, found strength in the community rallying around her. A GoFundMe raised enough to cover her rent for a year, and local businesses offered her catering gigs. But the real turning point came when a whistleblower from Hargrove's company, a black janitor named Marcus, revealed a recording of Hargrove admitting to tax evasion to dodge bad press. The IRS took notice, and Hargrove's world started collapsing faster than he could spin it. In a stunning courtroom showdown, Tasha's case went viral. Angela presented the recordings, the emails, and testimonies from former employees. Hargrove, once untouchable, was now a pariah. The judge ruled in Tasha's favor, awarding her a settlement that ensured her son's future and funded her catering business. But the real twist came when the IRS launched a full investigation into Hargrove Enterprises, freezing its assets. Hargrove's investors abandoned ship, and his company filed for bankruptcy. Tasha, standing outside the courthouse, looked into the cameras and said, "This isn't just for me. It's for everyone who's been stepped on and kept quiet." Her words became a rallying cry. The video of her speech racked up millions of views, with "FAF Justice for Tasha" trending worldwide. She opened her catering business 6 months later, naming it Tasha's Table, a symbol of resilience. What would you do if someone tried to humiliate you in front of the world? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you believe no one should be silenced, hit that share button. And subscribe to hear more stories of justice rising from the ashes.